I mean, we're back. Pasero era has begun. But just before we begin on that, there was a question on one of our content on YouTube. His name is Michael Ede. This question was coming from Michael Ede. He said, "Hi guys, you guys are doing a fantastic job analyzing our football and footballers. I got interested in Tammy Abraham recently, and I was wondering if he had switched to Nigeria. Will he be benching Osimhen? Of the two, who do you think has improved most?" Then he went further to ask about the midfield. He said, "Talking about our midfield, don't you think we should convert Ejuke? He can play the creative midfield role, he can dribble, but he needs to be tamed not to overdo it."
Well, I don't think that Ejuke is a central midfielder kind of player, right? Because midfield play is not necessarily about dribbling.
Yeah.
It is more about controlling, like you're the thermometer. You're the one that controls the temperature of the game. You're the one that decide, should we go slow or we go fast? Should we press high or retain possession, like what Modric was doing? So it's not really about dribbling. It's about having the guile and craft, the ability to hold everybody together. You're the leader of the orchestra, and you're the one that is pulling everybody with a wave of a hand. The harmony of the music can go, the tempo of the music can go very high or it can come low. So it's not really about dribbling. One of the major things that is required from a midfield player in central midfield is the way they pass the ball. So it's decision making. Midfield play from the perspective of bringing Ejuke into that position is in decision making. Yeah. Ejuke is very, very poor in making decisions. Ejuke still plays football like he's playing five-a-side on the street. He thinks that he has to dribble everybody and get the fans go wild and ecstatic and, like they are performing in the circus. That's not what you do as a midfielder. Look at some of the greatest midfielders that you've seen. You actually didn't know when they dribbled. Zidane is a very good dribbler. They call it trapping and turning. He traps and turns. You don't even know when he's dribbling. You don't see it coming. It happens before you realize that it just happened. That's the kind of dribbling you want in your midfield, because it's a place where if you lose the ball, a counter-attack has started. So you don't need those kind of players that would be showboating. That's the reason why I don't like Okocha, for instance. That's not, you can't convince me about him. So mentioning Ejuke in that position, it doesn't really fit in. It's not built like that. It would need a whole lot of training. And I'm sorry, African players, especially Nigerian players, don't work on themselves. So if you go put Ejuke there, you're practically setting yourself up for failure.
I was about to ask, how do you coach such kind of players, to adapt their game and?
Well, what's it called? Andre Pirlo was coached to adapt his game. Andre Pirlo is the same guy that Roy Hodgson told at Inter Milan that he's not good enough to play football. He should go look for something else when they brought him from Brescia. But he became one of the best in the world. Junior Panabucano was told that he can't make it in football. He became the father of the kind of free kick that he played. So you, first off, it has to be you. You know how they say that you can't fail unless you agree to fail. Yeah. No matter how many people tell you that you are a failure, if you do not accept that failure, you're not going to fail. You will work against the odds and you will succeed. So first you have to agree that no player can improve if they don't realize that the way they are playing currently is bad. So you have to first agree that the way you're playing currently is bad. And then secondly, who are you looking up to? When Thierry Henry was asked how he built his game the way he did, he said all he did was watch Mr. George. And he says it with reverence. He said all he did growing up at Monaco was watch Mr. George. That's George Opongwe, the legendary, iconic African Liberian president, George Opongwe. He said all he did was watch Mr. George. And he marveled at how he takes the ball from defense and run to the opposition goal and score. It was very strong, was stable, wasn't looking for a foul to fall and dive, but all his mission was to put the ball in the net. And that's what Thierry Henry became. And most players, as Zlatan Ibrahimovic, how he became that guy, all he did was watch Ronaldo da Lima. So who are these guys watching? Who are they modeling their game after? When you watch a Ejuke, for instance, who would you say Ejuke is playing like? They practically are playing like Tobo players, right? So it's hard for me to say that a coach will coach them. And they don't come across like people who want to improve their game. Let me give you a very good example with the one that I love to talk about the most, Moses Simon. Moses Simon cannot tell me that he does not watch the playback of his matches playing for Nigeria and realize that my problem is crossing. My problem is wanting to dribble too much. Let me fix it. When I come again, people will see the difference in me. You have to want to improve. But if you don't want to improve, you would remain in the state. There are 10 levels, for instance, in the height of growth. Some people are satisfied with being in level 2. And some people want to get to level 10 and then build under that ladder to go to 100. So it depends on where the player wants to be at. Now talking about Tammy Abraham and Osimhen, I'm not one of those who think that Tammy Abraham is better than Osimhen. Even with all the numbers of good that
it's been a debate for some time.
Yeah, he put up this season. Let's not forget that Osimhen missed out about 12 to 15 games to a career-threatening injury. To come back from that, a life-threatening injury, to come back from that is something very big. Last season too, the numbers didn't add up because he also got injured. He was injury-prone. Tammy Abraham have proven himself at Chelsea, came to Roma, also proven himself. They just won the Conference League now, which is important because Jose Mourinho won it. I'm sure if any other local average coach won that trophy, it wouldn't be important. But because Jose Mourinho won it, now it's very, very important. Having said that, if Tammy Abraham had chosen Nigeria, it would not come down to momentum. If you ask me, and I'm going to take it back, if you ask me, Michael Biku, Richard Owubukiri, Rashidi Yakini, who's the best of these three, or who's the least of these three, I would say Rashidi Yakini. Techniques and the rest, I would say Rashidi Yakini. But at the end of the day, Rashidi Yakini had a national team momentum that stretches back from 1984, 86, and Richard Owubukiri and Michael Biku couldn't take his shirt. If you look at the Brazilian national team again, there is a guy called Mauricio Ambrosio who played for Borussia Dortmund, won the German Bundesliga with Borussia Dortmund under Matosama, with Sono Lise, who also was the top goal scorer with 24 goals or so. There was also Giovanni Ebba, the Sonny Anderson, who played for Lyon. Yeah, you compare them to people like Bebeto. You'll be asking yourself, why is Bebeto playing in the national team when he's playing for Deportivo La Coruña and not really doing well club-wise, but he's always a regular playing with Romario in 94, playing with Ronaldo da Lima, playing with Rivaldo and the rest of them. It's about momentum. Once you establish your momentum in the team, then you can go continuously to play. That's the momentum that Osimhen have right now. Let's even leave Tammy Abraham. Would Siridesa come and take that position? He needs to score consistently. If he keeps scoring, everybody thought that Polono actually taking Osimhen's position, but that didn't happen. Because the thing about it is, psychologically, Osimhen, I'm not sure you've noticed that, but do you know that Osimhen have this aura when he walks into the room? Even those people who hate him seem to notice. I don't know if you've noticed that. Osimhen came to the World Cup qualifiers, the last player to enter the camp. Came in with a green shirt and a singlet. He walked into that hotel. First thing he said, he wants to use the toilet. Everybody was falling on him. So there's that thing that some players have that some other players don't have. Some other players come in and they are very, very let me not use the word timid now. They are very humble. But you don't need that in football. And that's why I used to tell people that Kaka is a great player, but I don't think it will last. And I'm like, why are you saying that? I say, it's too nice. Nice players don't last in football. But people didn't understand what I was saying there. Sometimes you have to have the bad boy image. That's the thing that is missing in somebody like Alex Iwobi. You have to have the bad boy image. You have to be a bit fearsome. Osimhen's got it. I don't think Tammy have it. With this score goes, let's talk about statistics, numbers. Tammy is done better in terms of numbers right now, currently. But we've also seen a lot of players who've done better at club level because we're judging club now. And then they come to the national team and they peter away. Peter Ejuke had more numbers than Julius Agawa and the rest of them. He came to the national team, played against guys who were smoking weed in Jamaica, couldn't trap the ball. This is a guy who won highest goal scorer in all of the divisions in Sweden, who helped teams that are hopeless gain promotion, but came to play against, at National Stadium here, came to play against Jamaica, couldn't trap the ball. So, would he fit into the national team? That's another thing. Osimhen have star boy quality. I know that the non-qualification for the World Cup might come back to haunt him. If he comes now, if Osimhen goes maybe 3-4 games on the Super Eagles without playing, without scoring goals and missing chances, I will bet my life that the fans will turn against him and everybody. Osimhen is 2 or 3 more mistakes from being ostracized for the national team. Osimhen is some bad games away from being chased out of the national team because now he has assumed he's the Dennis Rodman of the Super Eagles. He's the bad boy of the team. He talks to fans anyhow. He responds. He doesn't have respect. That's the way everybody sees him right now. But you see, how he shuts people up is when he shows up, the beast shows up and he unleashes the dragon in him and he scores. But if you're comparing both of them right now, I can't because Tammy Abraham is not holding the shirt in the England national team as well. And you will say there's Harry Kane there. But even when Harry Kane is not playing well, Tammy Abraham can't fit into the English national team. If they have Osimhen, I think Osimhen will play in that national team too. So it's a two-way scale. But if the two of them are chosen the national team of Nigeria to play for, the question is, why can't the two of them play together?
All right, like you said, Tammy Abraham has had a fantastic season. I think he's part of the England's recent squad that will be playing in the Nations League.
We'll sit on the bench.
Yeah.
Put it that way, we'll sit on the bench.
He's been called up, but I mean, for Michael Eddie asking that question, Tammy Abraham is no longer eligible. He's gone to England, and but he's still so close friends with some Nigerian players. Osimhen, we saw that the friendship when Napoli took on Roma in the Italian Serie A.
Osimhen was whispering to him like, guy, if you say you choose Nigeria, you don't go sit down for bench. You be black boy. That hurricane, even if you get only one leg, now you go see the start. And they tell you.
That's a good caption.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.